Japanese is considered one of the most difficult languages in the world. Well, Japanese language consists of 107 sounds. The writing consists of 3 different character sets, and one of them has countless amounts of letters. Oh, and Japanese speech has many forms of honorific languages and expressions to express respect and intimacy of the relationships of the speaker. Also, when you want to say English words in Japanese, you have to make them sound like Japanese words, so the Japanese local people understand. Is it intimidating? But there is a great thing about Japanese, that the words don't have a gender, like German, French, or Spanish. So you don't have to think about a definite article or how you want to construct sentences using certain words. Isn't it great news? But gender definitely plays a role in Japanese as well. Let me explain how. Today I'm going to talk about Colloquial Japanese. Colloquial Japanese is the most difficult Japanese, in my opinion. Unless you're a native speaker. If you're a native speaker, it comes naturally to you, so it doesn't bother you at all. But when you're not and you want to learn Colloquial Japanese, I don't even know where to start. When you speak Japanese colloquially, your personality, character, your choice of words, gender as well, are reflected on your speech. I'm a slow-paced, soft kind of speaker, so that's reflected on my speech in Japanese. And I actually adjusted many times to make it match my personality. And also I'm a female, so if I wanted to say something like, I've been thinking about what to eat for lunch since morning, but I can't think of any. Do you have any idea? I would say something like, 朝からずっとお昼に何食べようか考えてたんだけど、何も思いつかなくって、なんかあったっけ? I can't imagine if it was a male person saying the same thing, what they would say. I can't even imagine what a female person with different personality would say. If you say it in the exact same way I would say it, and if you're a male, you might imply that you want to be or you are living as a female, intentionally or without knowledge. You know, many Japanese celebrities who are male or transgender, no gender celebrities pretend to be female by changing the way they speak. So it's okay if you want to do that. Between men and women, the first person I is different, and second person you is not very often said. It's usually abbreviated. Subject and object are very often abbreviated in Japanese colloquial conversations. So you need to constantly clarify what you're talking about or what somebody said. That's a completely fine thing. You shouldn't be confused or you shouldn't be worried that you need to clarify. You couldn't get that information from that piece of information given. If you want to say something like, I've told you that I don't know, in colloquial Japanese there are so many ways of saying it. Say, 知らないって言ったじゃん is one. Oh, it's a Kanagawa dialect though. I think many people across the country would say it now, but the sentence that ends with jan is usually considered Kanagawa dialect. Kanagawa is just in the south, located in the south of Tokyo, and it's close to Tokyo, so it's kind of like a standard Japanese, but Kanagawa people speak like that, like 知らないって言ったじゃん doesn't mean anything, but it's added to the sentence. 知らないって言ったよ知らないって言ったよな知らないって言ったじゃない知らないって言ったわよ Those last two are quite feminine and not young. If you want to sound a little manly, like masculine, you can probably say 知らないって言っただろ? I don't know, I'm not a man, but if you say that, it doesn't sound feminine, so you can probably say if you're a man. My friend asked me recently how I would say I like coffee in Japanese, but colloquially. So I had to think what kind of personality he has and how does he want to present himself. So I can't answer straight away, but there are so many ways of saying it, and if you're speaking honorific language, it doesn't really matter. It's not different between men and women or young or old. Honorific languages, like business Japanese, is like templates. Everything falls into some kind of pattern, so it's easier to learn. So I'll give you an example where you might say, at a textbook, I like coffee. Have you heard this culture that Japan has? Arrangement marriage. It's called omiai. Arrangement marriage is where men and women meet up through an agency or a parent, relatives, or somebody, a third party, and meet up for the first time for a meeting, or so should I call a date. And on the first date, they're a stranger to each other, so they speak in honorific language, and they speak about, the textbook things, like my name is, I'm from, and my hobby is. Say, the man might go, コーヒーはお好きですか? And the response is, コーヒー大好きでカフェ巡りをよくするんですね。コーヒーお好きですか? And he can say, 僕もコーヒーが大好きなんですよね。The both parties said, do you like coffee? I like coffee, in different ways. You two are walking down the street and you two found a cafe, and your friend found you staring at the cafe, and your friend asked, コーヒー好きなんだっけ? 大好きなんだよね。This is a colloquial Japanese between friends, and the first person said, oh, is it that you like coffee? And the person responds, no. I is abbreviated, says like a lot. So subject and object are abbreviated, and which is completely fine in colloquial Japanese, and it always happens. So when there is a big pause between the question and response, you sometimes have to clarify what they're talking about. Say, そう言ってたじゃん。誰が? Said that. Who did? Or 好きって言ってたよね。私が? 違くてさ。Said, liked it. Who did? Did I? No? So it's a usual conversation in Japanese. I found it so confusing since many years ago, but that's a natural Japanese conversation, so don't worry if you couldn't get a subject or object from the information given. You have to do it. So let me get back to I like coffee sentence in Japanese. So there are many ways of saying I like coffee. Depending on the situation and context, you say different things. Say, if you are responding to someone's question saying I like coffee or I do, then you might abbreviate some words, or you might say something that as simple as like coffee, コーヒー好き. That can be of course used. When you speak colloquial Japanese, you can even put words together and convey what you want to say to the local speaker, local Japanese person, and can be understood when you say コーヒー好き? The person would know that you like coffee because you put a verb and an object, and it can't mean anything else. So it can be of somebody else because you don't put subject there. 私コーヒー好き? can also make sense. It's just, I'm just talking about how natural you can sound. So lastly, I want to talk about the very difficult thing called Japanese particles, which is something like ga, wa, no, to. There are so many. And it means something like to be, verb to be, of, with, to. And Japanese local people sometimes make mistakes as well. So you don't need to be perfectly precise from the beginning, but rather than making mistakes, you might as well abbreviate them if you're just speaking colloquially sometimes. So I'll give you a few examples. 外で遊びたいの？外の遊びたいの？外が遊びたいの？外ので遊びたいの？外も遊びたいの？外と遊びたいの？ There are many particles and some can make sense, but not your intention. Say, do you want to go outside? Is 外 means outside. 遊びたいの is want to play in the questioning tense. So, do you want to go outside and play? 外で遊びたいの makes sense. It's what exactly you want to say. But say, 外と遊びたいの When you said that, 外 is a subject. 外 is a person's name, so 外と遊びたいの Do you want to go outside and play with 外 is a person's name. Or 外も遊びたいの も means to, also, as well. So it doesn't make sense. This sentence doesn't make sense. And 外の遊びたいの If you say no means of most of the time. So do you want to play the one outside? It can mean something like that, but it doesn't really make sense. So if you're really speaking quickly and said that, people might get you, but it's not really an appropriate sentence. So, and you can't abbreviate the particle in this situation. You can't say 外遊びたいの You'd say 外で遊びたいの But say, I said before, like, do you like coffee? コーヒー好きなんですか Do you like coffee? コーヒーが好きなんですか Do you like coffee? コーヒーは好きですか Everything makes sense and they are all fine. If you're speaking honorific language, keigo, polite, respectful language, you always have to put the particles in the right way. I can get into it later if you want to, because Japanese particles is one of the most difficult things as well. Well, there are many more difficult things, so don't worry. Well, I just made this video in response to how do you say I like coffee in Japanese, and I hope this answers. So there are so many ways of saying it. If you want to use Japanese particles, say, if I were to introduce myself, まずは自己紹介をします。私はクレアと言います。コーヒーが特別好きで、今はスタバが開くことをすごく楽しみにしています。But that's honorific language. So say, okay, I'm speaking with my friend, close friend, and we are talking about what we should do next time we meet up. 本当？次何しようか？すごい楽しみ。いつ会えるかな？コーヒー好き？私すごいコーヒー大好きで。コーヒー巡りしない？門前仲町行きたい。門前仲町コーヒーいっぱいあると思う。カフェが多くて、コーヒーが多い。美味しいと思う。清澄白河もすごいよね。コーヒーが好きな人にはたまらない感じ。ほんとコーヒー好きなの。They sound feminine, but it's something like that. you speak according to the context. The simplest way of saying it is like coffee. コーヒー好き。コーヒー好き。Possibly. Or you want to say in honorific then. 私はコーヒーが好きです。私 subject は particle コーヒー object が particle 好きです。Like honorific ending. So depending on your character, try to find somebody who you want to sound like and learn from them. Hope you learned something today. This is my grandma's kimono. I usually wear kimono by myself, but that's a grandma's belt as well. It has samurai in it and shogun as well. Wow. I'll take some photos later. Thank you very much for watching, and if you have more requests or questions, please share on the comments. Bye. Hope you have a great day and stay safe and stay healthy.